like religion. We have distortions like fashion. We have distortions like greed and competition that are pervasive and completely parallel.
Let me ask you a question.
Who we truly are.
You're listening.
And that is what he's talking about.
Stop.
You're not letting me finish my point.
I need to ask you a question.
Let me finish
Go
my
ahead.
point.
Go ahead.
The point is that he's speaking idealistically. World unification without a state. What does that mean? No one can even think about something like that. It means that the state does not serve the function of any type of state we've ever known. It's not a state of control. Humans are based in a condition of humans are deriving their products from a system that is self-generating and self-sustaining, and they contribute to society not because they want money in return or power or any of the nonsensical inventions that we've created. They contribute to society because they understand that the more you give, the more you get.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Every time people try to have anarchy in groups of bigger than 3 or 4 people, always somebody becomes what we would call corrupt, or sick, as you would call them, and starts dominating the others. And so what I'm saying is you're a good guy. I believe you're a nice guy who means well. Other people working with you are, and you know, the experts you talk to, I know, both of them are good guys, mean well, and are very intelligent. I'm saying that there is an oversimplification. Are you feeding in all the factors that you talk about?
Yes, of course we are. We're not. No one's ignorant to the current state of things. And by the way, you're sitting there telling me I'm a good guy, right? And off the air, you come on, you tell me that I'm one of these intellectual elites that pisses his pants. Is exactly.
No, that was on air. That was on air, bro.
Well, great.
We've been on air the whole time.
What is this?
Wrong again. That was on air. That we were yelling at each other, and you just said that I was. Stop.
I'm trying to talk.
Put him on hold for just a minute. Look, I got to tell you something, man. You come on here and you say, like with some vitriol, that I'm back as I say $29.95, and I'm selling things, and then you admit I'm forced to, yourself. Buddy, you're playing sad and spooky music on your stuff. That could be seen as a form of deception much greater than saying $29.95. I mean, if you want to take the gloves off, I can take them way off here. Okay, I am trying to be nice here, and I understand you're in this view that you're so intellectual and so sweet and loving that you're just this higher pothead alien, and I'm this lower Neanderthal down here. I understand all that. Us Texans, I'm crapping in an outhouse out here every 5 minutes. My point is, with you, is that I haven't, been here trying to shoot you down or attack you, and I said on air about the pissing in the pants. Okay, so go ahead.
Well, sure, fine.
Wrong again.
You're being extremely irrational with this because I haven't said anything to him.
No, I just said I think you're a nice guy and a smart guy, and you came back with an aggressive thing. You came back with a debate point.
I think you're a little bit two-faced on this, and I want to make sure that's apparent that you understand.
No, it was on air, pal. Don't try to say it wasn't.
No, I'm not telling the people on air.
There's no two-face about it, buddy. It's all straight up here.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Earlier in your film, I'm going to play the clip. You're talking disdainfully about religion and money and fashion and the family, and it shows a family. What about those? Tell me about them.
Tell you about what? Would you please clarify?
Well, I mean, you're mentioning all these, clearly in the context, all these terrible, outmoded things, and I read all the social worker books, how the family's a disease and all this. I'm asking, is the family a good thing, or is it going to go bye-bye too?
Of course the family's a good thing. Family is a natural institution. Family is where people will return to in this type of situation, but there'll be a different association because the family will become the community in many ways. The extensionality that we feel, these things we call love, is not restricted to your little group or your family.
But love is religious. It doesn't exist either, just like evil doesn't exist. Because if evil doesn't exist, good doesn't exist.
Yeah, I never said evil doesn't exist. It's a different terminology. You use it in a religious context very frequently. I am not. Well, fine. If you want to use the word evil, I'll just use the word bad as a synonym. There is an element of alignment. There are certain things that we consider to be socially offensive to the structure, and that's where crime and things come in, so you call them bad, naturally. However, a person engaged in that crime is a victim of their culture. Therefore, they're doing what they have to survive, so it's good for them. Therefore, it's all a matter of degree. Coming back to the family, family is whatever the family wants to be. There's no restrictions. There's no CPS in any type of society. These are all amalgams of the corruption that we see, of this human loss, this intellectual distance.
Well, here's the deal. With 6.5 million people, let's say you got your society, you're saying you're going to be so good that nobody does, these bad things or these sick things anymore. Where does the word eradication come in then? How does that happen?
Because the value system changes and the tendencies are no longer there. They used to feed Christians to lions in Rome. You think they can get away with that today? No.
Well, they're getting back to it. They're getting back to the gladiators.
The value systems are changing. They have been through time. The more sophisticated we become, the more we access technology,
I agree.
The more scarcity is reduced, the less aberrant behavior will happen.
I agree. I mean, as the economy goes down, crime goes up. I totally agree with you. I agree with about 90% of what you guys are saying.
Well, then we have to take it further then. Once we realize we can create a society, for example, in this society, let's say you wanted to go to the grocery store. Well, guess what? You go in, you get what you need, and you leave. That's it. Why? Why would no one steal? Because there's no reason to. They can't sell it because there's no money. There's no reason for differential advantage in a position where you can't actually engage in gaining something through abuse in society. This is a core point in why money is such a horrible invention for control. I mean, money is the ultimate divide and conquer, Alex. You're someone who's supposed to be privy to manipulation techniques. The free enterprise system, all the monetary systems are pure divide.
I am privy to music. Here we go. Hold on. Let me explain how this is working here for you. The internet audience is on prisonplanet.tv right now. It is huge, hundreds of thousands listening on the web, and then millions over time on the web. So we're skipping AM and FM breaks, shortwave breaks, satellite breaks, and so the audience is probably 10% of what it was. But it is on the air. It is in the view of everyone. All of this is, unless you just... I
still don't appreciate your insults.
Well, I wasn't implying or apologizing for what I said. I mean, I'm not. I was explaining. We're on air all the time. I was separately. Are you even aware you use debate techniques and lawyer tactics, which are extremely dishonest, just like your music, just like your sad music at certain points? Why are you doing that with this corporate Madison Avenue manipulative music like in a drug commercial for Halcyon? Why are you doing that like I am, saying $29.95? Why? Why have you done that?
It's a very big difference because one is art and one is pure marketing. And, of course, you can say there's a matter of degree between the two. Oh. But I exchange things in an artistic... I want to make things interesting for people to relate.
Cop out.
They can use their own minds. This is the nature of reality. But when you put something on $29.95, it's just a general expression, Alex. It's a very simple notion. It's a marketing tactic. My use of music is music that I like to use. That's period.
Well, I like $29.95.
Well, fine. If that's you want to have that argument, fine. But you're sitting there along with all the other people in Madison Avenue with the same thing. My music is completely individual.
No, let me explain. We use, with truthful information and truthful good products of information, we use Madison Avenue tactics right back against them.
Fine.
I mean, so do you, man. I mean, hold on. Let's talk about you. I mean, don't you work in the whole culture of media? I mean, don't you work in TV?
Yeah, I'm a whore just like everyone else in this system because I have to survive. Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, I just wanted to make sure. But I don't really think of it as...
Look, man. Okay, go ahead.
No, actually, for the first 6-7 years of my shopping cart, we would say $20. And then I went ahead and just on air said, I'm now, to show you what Madison Avenue's doing, I actually have been into that, have made the point a lot. And a lot of times, even when I I don't even really plug the videos anymore. I never even really spend much time plugging them. But I'm not in some guilt. Hold on. I'm not in some guilt if I paint an oil painting of wanting to sell it. Not because I worship a fancy car, because I want a car that drives well and has a good titanium cage. And if I am in a wreck, my children won't be killed. I do like, actually, I don't really like nice clothes. I literally have like 50 blue and black T-shirts and blue jeans with holes in them because I like them. But the point is, I'm not into baubles, trinkets, things like that. But I'm not hating materialism. It's just lower on my hierarchy. I don't also go to the extreme of just saying basically anything materialistic is inherently bad. I mean, I need to be able to own my own house. I don't want a bunch of people in sandals. They're already here stealing farms and ranches everywhere. The phony environmentalists and then they build giant sky rises on it and are all filthy rich with armed guards. I also see the whole left thing of it belongs to everyone. I just see that as very dangerous. Another form of tyranny.
Well, I can see why you see that based on what you've said, and I can understand that angle. But I think we should look beyond these points. You see, ownership itself is based on the restriction of others. I'm not saying that people shouldn't have a home where only they are allowed to go into it, but this protectionist element that comes into play with ownership, property, it has extremely negative influences, and this is one of the central points. You can't have a system where everything is hoarded by everyone else.
Yeah, but Peter, you know who I am. When you called up saying, I officially want to sell this now, so I want to get rights to your film, other people called up threatening you. I knew what you were doing. I didn't call up and threaten, because I actually am not very territorial about ideas. I want them out.
Hey, man, I'm not saying that you are.
What I'm saying is I really want to have an intellectual debate with you. I respect you, think you're very talented. We're back to the full audience right now.